How's it going, everyone? I'm Akila, and recently I took a trip to Italy and spent time with a friend that I made last year in Spain who lives in Italy. And I stayed with her for most of my trip, and she showed me around a lot of hidden parts that I would have never discovered on my own. This video is about our trip to Cortina, the beautiful mountainside up in the northern parts of Italy on the borders of Switzerland. I was born in January and I wanted to travel for my birthday. So here we are up in the snow-capped mountains, and it's really cold. I don't normally gravitate toward doing things in the snow, but this was a nice challenge for me to do something I'm not used to doing and celebrate during this season that has its own kind of beauty. I've never been to a ski resort. I've never even been on a ski lift, so I was pretty scared, y'all, but I did it anyway. And I'm so glad because once we got to the top, it was breathtaking. And I could feel the brisk, clean air rushing through my lungs. It was almost like being revived. I have explored Italy in the summertime, and it's a different vibe. And so my mind and my heart was open to experiencing Italy in the winter, northern Italy at that, and just embracing everything that Spirit wanted to show me. And I'm so glad that I got to spend this time with her and just relax and get to know each other better. I knew from the moment that we met that we were soul sisters. You know, when you meet someone and it just feels so good to be around them and they just get you without you really having to explain yourself, and you don't feel like you're being judged. You don't feel like you have to perform. This is how I felt. And I'm so glad that I trusted my intuition in booking this trip and coming to be with my soul sister, someone I can enjoy being in nature with. And the mountains have their own special kind of messages to give us. Is there anything special that you know about these mountains?
I can Google something interesting. So when God made the world, He decided to cover it with flowers and plants. He created flowers of every color and perfume, and herbs with magical properties which He scattered everywhere. Fields and hills became like brightly colored carpets, and the woods rustled with an outpouring of green. Only the high mountains of the Alps remained bare and silent. Nothing could grow that high up on the cold and naked rock. The mountains were saddened by this and asked the heavens for help. One night, when the full moon was shining, the angels came, collecting the stars in their hands and scattering them over the rocks, where they settled in the crevices. The mountains joyously wrapped each star in a soft down to shelter it from the cold, and offer it a little earth to cling to with its fragile roots. The moon, watching from the sky, was enchanted by the sight of all these stars in the mountains, and by bathing them with her light, she turned their petals white. At sunrise, the mountains were covered with white, star-like shapes, the very first Edelweiss, or Stella Alpina in Italian.
Wow.
So cool! I never heard this legend.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, right?
Spending time in the mountains is different than spending time in the forest or at the beach. The mountains are just so grand and remind us of just how small we are in comparison. If you ever want to see God in action, you come to the mountains. While I was traveling in Peru, I learned that they call the mountains Pachamama. And this translates to Mother Earth. To me, this means someone with their arms outstretched wide, just waiting patiently with all the love, waiting to hold us when we allow it to. I definitely feel held when I'm standing in front of mountains like these. I made sure to express my gratitude through little moments of prayer. I prefer the tropics, but I know how much the snow has its own beauty, and I was born in the winter, so I have to find it within myself to really, really appreciate this season, you know?
Yeah.
Although the snow is not something I run to, I feel most at home on the beach when it's 100 degrees and I'm sweating for hours. I can just rub the sweat into my skin and feel so comfortable. But I'm really, really glad that I got to experience this. You know, stepping outside of your comfort zone is all about finding hidden parts of yourself that would have been dormant otherwise. Which is probably why travel is so important to me. I really feel myself growing with each trip I take. And this one felt like an absolute dream. If you can dare to make your dreams turn to reality, it is worth every moment and is a true way to honor being alive.